Hey everyone, welcome again to the Remote PE Teacher YouTube channel. I want to show you a tool you can use if you're teaching online this fall or this year that you can use to help uh, do some formative assessment, an assessment over maybe some videos that you found. I just came onto this summer and I've used it quite extensively now. It's called EdPuzzle, and at first I thought EdPuzzle that's weird, kind of a weird name for something. I thought it was kind of one of those little kiddie websites that elementary teachers are always using, the Jamboozle, Basil, whatever, the Flip Flop Flam. But this is actually really, really good. And in fact, I use it with my football program all the time. So let's get logged in here, ready to go. So you're going to want to sign up, okay? And so I'm going to click sign up. And you would start by saying, I'm a teacher, okay? And I've already logged in, so you would say, I'm a teacher, and then you can sign in with Google. That's probably the easiest way, or you can do just a normal sign up with EdPuzzle. All right, I already have an account, so I'm going to log in. I'm a teacher. This is my school address. There's my email address if you need to get a hold of me. And I'm going to sign in. All right, and you can see it takes me right to my content. And so we're going to do an EdPuzzle over some 3 sprint drills that I found to fix mechanical keys. I want my kids to understand more about sprint mechanics. I'm really big on speed with my high school strength and conditioning classes. You can see over here, I've done some installs for some of my football team here. So that's some of my content as well. Let's add content first. I've already added what I wanted, but let's show you how to add content. So that's the first thing we're going to do is find the videos. And so I want to either create a video, so I could create a video like I'm doing now and talk to you and screencast if I want, or I can upload a video. And there's also student projects, and there's a new folder I could, but what I'm going to do is just upload a video. And so I can choose a file, or I can choose something from my Google Drive, okay, if I'd like. Other things I can do is I can go down here to popular channels, and that's how I got this YouTube video, is I went to YouTube, and I had already found the video that I wanted to use, so I took the URL, I Command-C, Command-paste it, and I pasted that in, and hit enter, and there comes my video. And we're just going to work from right here. I'm going to move myself over here so you can see a little bit more. So I have this video with Lateef Thomas, one of the best track coaches, high school track coaches in the nation, doing some drills on this YouTube. And what I can do is if I only want a portion of this, I can trim it. Well, we want the whole thing, but I could take this and trim it down.
Still have difficulties. I have done this drill for years and
so you've got that. So I could move this and I could cut it right here. And I could take out sections that aren't relevant for my students. You can see right there, why would I cut it? But I'm not going to cut it. Okay, I don't want to cut it. So reset. We're going to go back to where we were. Okay. Make sure
difficulties.
This cut doesn't really exist. All right. And so we're going to finish here. I'm going to make sure I don't want to cut that one. All right. So I'm going to go back to my content, back to my original. Okay. And got some trending ones here, but I'm going to go to my content. So there I go. This is my original. So let's get rid of the one that we just kind of messed around with the cut. All right, let's go back to it. All right, so here's my video, and I'm going to want to, I've got some things over here on the side that I can do with it, but I want to edit this video. So again, here's where I could cut it. All right, if I wanted to, if I want to take out a portion of it, only leave the portions that are relevant to my students. So you might have the longer video. You may not cut your video before you put it in. If you did some sort of screencast, I'm probably like, I should cut this video with all my mistakes that I make in here, but I'm human, so we're just going to keep going. All right, I can voice over this video. So I could take it to a certain point within the video and
recovering the heel.
Sorry, and I can replace the existing audio with my own explanation. Okay, and so I might do so at some point. The other thing that I really like is questions, and this is what I do all the time. Okay, so we're watching the video. Again, this is from Complete Track and Field off YouTube, and it's
the A march with no arms is the first speed drill that I teach. And again, we want to make sure that we're not using the arms at first because it's going to involve too much of coordinated demand. So here, all we're teaching and cueing athletes to start up by doing chin up, chest up, knee up, toe up, heel up.
Okay, so I really like those cues. So I'm going to add a note in here. Okay, and my note is, remember these cues. Chin up. We're gonna formulate that just a little bit. Chin up and chest up. And then we're gonna go knee up, toe up, heel up. So within the video, I've created a note, all right, that will, as they play it, the video will stop here and it will show this note. Okay. Now,
and focus on recovering the heel, stepping over the knee, and driving the foot back down into.
Okay, now let's say I've moved on, and I'm not going to make you watch the whole video, but I know at 2 minutes I want to start to test their knowledge. Okay, see if they're paying attention. Hey, see whether they're gaining any information out of this. And so I've watched this video already. So at about 2 minutes, they start to move on to a march with, and right here, let's pause. I want to make sure. And I'm going to add a multiple choice question here. All right, one of the key things that they had in there was, where should your heel recover to? Okay, and so we can make right and wrong answers here. They give us 2. I'm going to put 4 here. All right, and so I don't always want the first answer to be correct, so the X, red X means it's wrong, so I could say in front of the hips. That's incorrect. All right. Okay. I am going to put the right answer here. Under the hips. And there was a cue in there that I'm going to add. So if they're paying attention. Okay. Crack an egg. And we're just going to put 3 in there. I lied. I said we were going to do 4. And we're going to put another wrong answer in here and say behind the butt. Okay. Now, this is the right answer. I can type some feedback in here. Fantastic. Okay, I can type some feedback for a wrong answer. So, sorry, it is under the hips. And for me, I'm just going to copy both pieces of feedback and put it in both wrong answers. Right? And so I can add a lot of different answers and those things. And then I save. It'll be graded automatically. All right. And we're going to keep going. So a march, the pause. So let's click play. Here's
once you've
a march,
decided
the
the
pause.
athletes have met a sufficient level of proficiency with the A march with no arms, and you can add the arms in, and you're going to be very surprised at how poor your athletes are.
Okay, so I'm going to move in here, and let's say in this area right here, kind of after the A march, and starting to move into something else.
Level of the progression.
Okay, I'm going to add an audio note. And so we're going to add an audio note during a screencast, so kind of weird here. All right, so let me see. I'm going to click this microphone. So the audio note I'm going to add is going to be a little bit about drills that we do. Hey, students, you would notice that during this drill, he is doing an A march continuously. We will still do pause marches where we pause and hold the position because it's easy for me to evaluate, and it also helps us build some static strength. All right, so I save that note right there. And finally, okay, so as I play this, that note will come up, and I'll show you how that works here in just a second. All right, and then finally at the end
I really like
of the video,
to focus on keeping the range of motion with the legs, element of arms into the mix. So this is the.
Hey, now, if they're smart, they've thought, oh, hey, there's this drill or this video is called 3 drills to help improve your speed mechanics. There's actually 4. And so we want to have multiple choice. Sorry, we want to have an open-ended question. What 4 drills are presented here? Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and give them feedback after they answer. It's going to be a march without arms. Oop, if I could spell correctly. Then it's going to be a march with arms, a skip with arms, a skip without arms. And I click save.
The next.
All right, and they can continue from there. All right, so I've put in everything I want to put in. I chose not to voice over. I like the instruction that Latif gives here, but I could voice over. I could just use the video elements. Let's say I just have some video. Later on, I'm going to put out on my YouTube channel how to do an obstacle course in your backyard, and so I don't have any audio on that, so I'm going to definitely use the voiceover if I do that option in EdPuzzle. All right, so I'm going to finish up here, finish, and here's my video. Okay, we can kind of play through it. Okay. Let me get myself out of the way over here where you can see it. All right, and the video plays. We're going to fast forward just a little bit.
Coordinated demand. So here, all we're teaching and cueing athletes to start up by doing chin up, chest up, knee up, toe up, heel up, and focus.
And so there, the video stops. They can't play it any further. They could skip, or I could, and there's a place for me to allow not to skip. All right, but it sees the notes. All right. Okay, the student looks at the notes, and they can click
focus
continue.
on recovering the heel, stepping over the knee, and driving the foot back down into the ground, such that it.
And let's say we fast forward. The video is
out here
playing.
On the drill.
Drills are, of course,
about 2 minutes. More fun than a march with no arms.
Okay, and as the video plays, boom. Now we have some multiple choice questions. All right, so, and we're just going to skip through.
Once you've decided the athletes have.
Boom, we've got that. All right, now we have some options within here. I can edit it some more. I could duplicate this video if I'd like. I'm going to move myself out of here so I can see myself. I can make this public, so I can make this private. I'll leave it public if you want to try to find it on here on EdPuzzle. That's one of the beauties of EdPuzzle. You can go and find other people's videos and use those, other people's EdPuzzles, use them. The thing I like the most, before we run out of time here, is to assign this. And so, again, let me move myself out of the way. All right, I can assign to a class, and if you notice over here, this is a Google Classroom icon. I can bring my classes from Google Classroom, import them in, and then if I want to assign this, I click on it, click assign. You'll notice I have some options over here, what date I want this to start. So if I want to assign this a later date, when it's due, I can prevent them from skipping through the questions. I can turn on closed captioning. And finally, I can post this in the Google Classroom. So they don't have to log into EdPuzzle to find their assignment. If they're in Google Classroom, they can find the assignment in Google Classroom, click through to EdPuzzle, finish it, and get their grade there. I'm not going to assign it to any of my classes. I'm not ready to do so, but you can do that. I also have some public links, so I could share this with my colleagues, and so I will definitely copy this link so that you can go through and see this and run through it yourself if you want. So I'll put that in the description of the video if you'd like to see it. If you have any questions on EdPuzzle, feel free to reach out. Again, shameless plug, follow me on Twitter at CoachLaw71. Hook me up on Facebook. It's Lee Weber. Picture of me and my kids if you're looking for the icon. All those things are on my YouTube channel header. If you want to take a look at those, look me up on LinkedIn. And especially lastly, I'm providing this for free. I do sell access to my Google Drive folder that I'll continue to add through as COVID continues to strike and we have to go remote, especially if my school especially goes remote. I will be adding tons of different worksheets and information. There's already a lot of stuff in there, and there's a link to the global PE folder where there's just a treasure trove of all kinds of PE things from people all over the world that I kind of fell into, and I felt like the link was important. So that's $10 on Venmo. I have the Cash App as well. And you can email me at lweber@usd394.com. Love to hear from you. If there's something you want to see me do and demonstrate, I'd be glad to do so. Have a great day.